What's up, guys? Not the winner here, and honestly, I wanted to talk to you about my new build that I got going on right now. It's pretty interesting. It's a crit-based build, and one of the things can be swapped out. Right now, I'm running Twisted Wounds on the Chicago typewriter. You could swap that out for many other different things, but basically, my crit hits or even weak spots apply bleed that deals 725 bleed damage over 10 seconds, and I get increased damage against bleeding targets from this. Not only that, my necklace is gonna, for bleeding enemies, I get increased crit chance and crit damage, so I can keep stacking from when I get that first crit. Another good one that you could run here is Gunslinger's Charm. The fire rate is nice, but the reload speed by 20%, really nice for something like a Chicago typewriter. You could run something else, obviously, like you could be running the Sagittarius, you could be running even the Huntsmaster. But I really like the Chicago typewriters just ammo total, and obviously being able to crit, and the fact that the Enigma crits as well is pretty fantastic. We're running Braided Thorns here, so whenever we kill enemies, we get the increased crit chance for 10 seconds. Whenever we get a perfect dodge, we get increased crit chance and crit damage. Well, all the time, we get increased crit damage by 30%. And then Bright Steel Ring here for the fastest evade. Now, there's other crit based ones, like for example, let me just mention a couple here that I looked at. We have Burden of the Gambler. It disables weak spots, but increases crit chance by 10% and crit damage by 20%. Really nice if you're trying to go straight into a maxed out crit build, but disabling weak spots, it's only good for certain occasions. Devoured Loop, if you complete the game on Apocalypse difficulty, then your crit chance have 1% chance to reset skill cooldowns. Can only occur once every 10 seconds, but increases how much damage you take by 10%. So it's a little bit riskier. Faerun's Sigil, critical and weak spot hits generate 10% additional mod power, great for mod-based builds. And then Ring of Restocking for reloads within 1.5 seconds of your crit hits are 20% faster. And one of them that I actually was really considering, I didn't have it since I totally forgot to snag it, but the Sapphire Dreamstone crit hits reduce skill cooldowns by 3%, can happen once every 2 seconds. That could be a really, really nice way to get your Stone Mist back, or even Void Cloak if it's on its longer cooldown. For the amulets, there's only a couple that I was really considering here. Like, obviously, you have Butcher's Fetish, but that's based on charge melee attacks. Energy Diverter is a really shield-based one for bonus for crits, so not really good for this build. The Nightweaver's Grudge, it needs enemies to be suffering from status effects, which, if you're applying bleed, that's actually fantastic. And you get 20% crit chance and haste when within 15 meters of an entity suffering from this. Really, really useful, but also, like, if the boss is too far away, it's not going to help you at all. And then the one-eyed Joker idol for the backdash, give you the 25% increased. What is it? Is it 25% increased crit chance? Yeah, I believe so. But regardless, so what we're actually picking between is going to be Gunslinger Charm for the reload speed and fire rate, or Abrasive Whetstone. When attacking bleeding enemies, you can increase crit chance and crit damage. So what we're going for total right now is we have 80% crit damage, it says, 5% crit chance, 10% range crit chance right there. But whenever we get our dodges, this is going to boost up even higher. And with the twisting wounds, we're going to be constantly getting the bleed effect off to increase our crit chance further. Going into the traits, we do have some ammo reserves, so we actually have enough ammo to get through everything. Fortified to be able to tank the hits. Long shot to improve the range of the Chicago typewriter for certain boss battles, and it will even help out for things like the Enigma. Potency is forced for the consumable duration. Regrowth for the health regeneration. Untouchable is forced, but very useful for the invulnerability window. Triage for the healing mod, 35%. 9 points in bark skin, and then level 10 siphoner. Let's go ahead and just show off the build a little bit here, I think, because there's not too much else to say. We are just running the Alchemist. We're getting 4 different concoctions down there. The one for 25% hit points, the one for the health regeneration. We also decided to run Tranquility font to reduce the sway and recoil, so that one's pretty cool there. And I believe that we did the bottled shadeberry for the mod power generation. So pretty casual setup there. It's gonna keep us alive. It's gonna keep us well, and then obviously getting the alchemist archetype, the I don't know why every time I think about that word, I blank on it, but getting the additional resistances from that trait is very, very useful. We are running Invader for the Void Cloak. If we are threatened or in a concerning position, we just drop this for some perfect auto dodges, and it's going to keep us alive as long as what we need. We do get the bonus crit chance from the Shark buff as well. So very, very, very useful there. But let's just go ahead and start pumping through these enemies so you can kind of check it out. Alright, yeah, so let's show off damage from this one. So we get increased damage even on the thunder effects, even up in the 200s from those crits there. We can swap to the Chicago Typewriter, get off insanely fast damage. But the more effective, still going to be the Enigma for units like this. This one is really nice for boss fights as well. Clears them much faster than a lot of the other builds that I've been running. But the crits are really where it's at, guys. We can run the actual skills pretty often, and it's going to be very useful to us. But at the same time, we're really just focused on the crits here. So first off, let's go ahead and throw that, and then pop down one of these. How did that not catch them inside of it? That's what I don't get. So we set up the decoy there. We can go ahead and throw on the stone skin with the perfect dodge now as well. And the perfect dodge also gives us decoys, so it's just even more effective in the tankiness. Sounded like something was following me, right?
Great. Or bad news.
Yeah, the fire just melts most enemies, especially the little guys. If you trap them in with that, like where they have to pass the fire to reach you, they're gonna all die. Hello. Should be all of it. Alright. And then we got the three that are gonna drop down on us. Well, one drops down, the other two just kind of chill.
What is that smell?
Alright, well, we're in the Great Sewers. I'm gonna risk a lot just to run through most of this and just see if I can survive just sprinting and not killing. The run method is working. Woo! Alright, let's get that back. Push past you. Okay, we're almost to the thing. Made it to the boss. Oh, I didn't stop at the crystal. No, I'm stupid. Alright, whatever. Hopefully I don't die anyways. So yeah, guys, I mean, you'll see we're applying the bleed, we're applying the burn, we're making it pretty easy to just constantly have damage going off on the boss. Every time the ball goes back to the boss, we always want to launch the firestorm directly at the boss and then just lay on into it until he shoots the balls out again. Then just keep on tearing through it. That's my view. A couple notes about this fight as well. You'll notice that I really don't use my skills much. Right near the end of the fight, I use each skill once. But if you need the Bart skin more, use the Bart skin more. If you need the perfect dodges more, use the perfect dodges more. They can be extremely useful. I just didn't really see too much of a need to use them much during this fight. And that's why I would say if you're looking at other archetypes and you don't want to use all those concoctions down at the bottom, say you just want to use one concoction, then maybe go for a different main class. Go for something like Gunslinger. There's a couple good options that could make this build deal even more damage per second, but this is more of just like it. One, it has safety, and two, it has the elemental resistances that you're looking for while you're getting healed. Because elemental damage can be a little rough at times when you're on Apocalypse. Whoops. We deal insane damage when we're actually up close to that thing. We'll take the extra DPS for now, get some bleed on it before it goes. Alright, full reload now. Should be cracking soon though. And here's where I'm just gonna lay into it. Completely out of ammo for that gun. I heard the electric going off. I was like, nah. Okay, let's throw on bark skin. Let's put on perfect dodge. Just make sure that we don't mess up right at the end of the fight, because that would be very depressing, as we all know. Oh, come on. Don't screw me like that. And GG. Where is it? Shoot. There we go. It's directly above me. I couldn't get the aim on it. But yeah, pretty easy to kill the bosses with this build. Don't really run too many issues in that degree. And we might as well take on the world boss as well. Just so you guys can see this one versus at least one of the world bosses. But yeah, it's critical and bleed. There's definitely some other bleed things that you could be running. Like, for example, if we're looking at amulets and we go bleed, then we could also go increase all damage to bleeding targets by 20%, bonus 30% when they blow 50% health using the Ravager's Mark. And for rings, as far as the bleed goes, we could be going for like Blood Tinged Ring, gain 2 health regeneration per second within 10 meters of a bleeding entity. That one would be very, very good for if you wanted more regeneration, but the idea is you should be okay on regeneration, especially if you drop a relic. This one's more focused on getting more crits, more damage. And sorry if this one's a little bit longer than some of the others. I know people were asking to see some more world bosses again and everything like that, so I just want to make sure that gets covered.
Dreadful mistake, you realize.
Not good.
What a lark this is. Pity it won't last.
Crap.
There's a few options that you can do with this build as far as it goes. Like, obviously, as I mentioned before, the main archetype isn't your style and you don't like running all those potions, then feel free to swap that one out. Maybe go for something like Gunslinger. There's definitely some other options where you could run this as an engineer with an invader and have a little bit of fun with that. The main reason why I like the alchemist for this one is purely for the Paneka or Panacea. Someone told me how to pronounce it in the comments the other day, and I've been blanking on that too. But whatever. It's the one that gives you the elemental resistances, which is extremely, extremely useful. But even on the melee weapon, throwing on the vampire blade for the additional lifesteal that you can gain from that when it's maxed out is really, really nice for your melee hits. I am currently running Shield Breaker on mine, and you could probably swap out your Enigma before any boss fight. I find the Enigma is great at performing against AoE crowds, but in 90% of boss fights, it's semi-useless except for very key moments. So I would definitely say swapping out the Enigma, maybe going for something that gives you more bleed, or maybe something that stacks an additional effect on a boss, or just something that's going to deal a crazy high output of damage because of your crit hits. That would be a really good option. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys would improve this build so I can continue to work on this crit bleed build. Remember, the biggest focus is on the crit, guys.
Mistake, you realize. Your energy is certainly commendable.
Okay, we're going to use our ability for the first time in this fight now. Just make sure that things go well.